Hi all. I hope you guys have written answer to yesterday's question, and our topic was polity from GS2. And I urge you all to make the best use of last of the days you have for prelims preparation, and just keep writing and get your answers evaluated on CollectorBabu. Okay, so we will not be wasting much of our time and simply start discussing from the polity part, and it also includes the governance part as well, because we are nearing the end of our series for discussing PYQ and getting it evaluated. The first question was, discuss the role of Competition Commission of India in containing the abuse of dominant position by multinational corporations and refer to the recent decisions. Okay. So generally, you will be talking about what were the recent decisions made by Competition Commission of India. One was that it fined Google some near 1,000 crore rupee, and there were other ruling as well for Kingfisher, for NCLT, and other rulings. So we'll take a look at what and how the Competition Commission of India works. So in the definition part, you'll just in the introduction part, you'll just be talking about the CCI was established in the Competition Act of 2002, and it replaced the Monopolies and Restricted Trade Practices Act of 1969, and the recent integration of National Anti-Profiteering Authority into CCI has further expanded its role in promoting competition. So that's it. And then you will talk about what were the role and how it contains the dominant abuse of power by various MNC. Then you will talk about it initiates investigation and market inquiries. Okay, either on its own or based on complaints and stakeholder input, etc., or the government references. Here you will give an example of WhatsApp privacy policies probe, where the Competition Commission of India launched an investigation into WhatsApp privacy policy, citing a prima facie case of abuse and dominance. Then, obviously, it deals with merger and acquisition, which is a very important mandate of CCI. We'll talk about how it actually evaluates merger and acquisition involving multinational corporation to prevent anti-competitive practices. Then you will talk about Axis Bank's unnotified acquisition, how CCI imposed a rupee 40 lakh fine. Then you will talk about abuse of dominant position. Here, you will be talking about Google's exploitation dominance, right? Of its Play Store policy and the software policy, Android software policy. And then you will give another example of Coal India's monopoly penalty. Even it imposed penalty on Coal India. Then obviously it encourages consumer awareness and protection, and it also issues order, direction, penalty, etc., from imposing fines, directive, etc. So all these are the mandates of the Competition Commission of India. And in this part only, we have included the recent cases where Competition Commission of India was a major stakeholder. Now, what will we do? We'll talk about the challenges, right? The challenges are that there is the new evolving domain of digital economy, and the Competition Commission of India has to actively ensure that the competition is maintained. For example, Google one or the WhatsApp one was part of that. But again, there's not much clarity on how to regulate this digital economy because it is rapidly evolving. Then, obviously, in any regulatory body or any judiciary related or quasi judicial body related cases, challenges, you can definitely write there's this pending cases, because that is the truth. Now, you will be talking about how Competition Commission of India has to deal with the new domain it has gotten of anti-profiteering authority, because it has to address and review the changes, and it's the new challenge for Competition Commission of India, and it has to keep pace with the global antitrust trends. Okay, so this is all, and then you can just talk how CCI has played a crucial role in preserving market competition, consumer right, and business innovation in India. That's it. Now the second, it's more like governance, and it's actually governance question, which is e-governance as a critical tool of governance has ushered in effectiveness, transparency, and accountability in governments. What inadequacies hamper the enhancement of these features? Okay, so break it down and try to understand what the question is actually asking. The question is asking that e-governance is a critical tool of governance, which has been given in the context of the question. Obviously, to explain it, as I have told earlier, you can make a hub and spoke diagram to actually more elaborate on this aspect of how it is a critical tool of governance. You can give some B2C, B2B, G2C type of framework and talk about various policy tools that are in those domain. Okay, like gem portal or swift or any other portal like digiyatra or digilocker, etc. And then what will you talk about? And you'll be talking about e-governance. As a definition you'll be given, you can give World Bank's definition of e-governance. Okay, and you can give some example like Aadhaar, DBT, Digital India, etc. Then the question asks, what are the inadequacies? So the challenges you're supposed to write, you will give challenge like digital divide. Here you will give some data and you will give some example. For example, the common service center intended to bridge this gap have often faced operational inefficiency due to inadequate internet access. Then you'll be talking about cybersecurity concerns, how the 2018 Aadhaar data leak raised concerns about the security of sensitive personal information. Then interoperability challenge, resistance to change from the department itself, and the poor penetration, language accessibility barrier, and legal and regulatory gaps. See, in the way forward part, I'll definitely urge you to please go and read the summary of second ARC report on citizen-centric governance, and it also talks about e-governance and how to better reform it. Okay, talking about business process re-engineering, how you have to make the government department itself compatible so that the forms are such that basically e-governance or it can be transferred into e-module. You can make some diagram of how e-governance has revolutionized. For example, stage 1, where it was basic emails and bulletins, and stage 2 to online transactions, stage 3 to usher in a digital democracy. These are some of the part you'll have to talk about in your question and give some diagram and data. Okay, so integration, interoperability, localized and inclusive platform, these are some of the generic generic way forward which you'll have to talk about. Then comes the conclusion part, where you'll actually be talking about how e-governance has revolutionized governance in India and addressed its challenges crucial for ensuring full potential, etc., etc., etc. Now comes the third question, which is, there is a need for simplification of procedures for the disqualification of persons found guilty of corrupt practices under RPA. Where did this question come from? Basically, RPA 1950 and 1951 both are part of your syllabus, explicitly mentioned. So please ensure that you have a note on RPA. Okay, both the RPA, what are the challenges, what are the way forward, and what are the current news related to RPA. Okay, so here you will be talking about the Representation of People Act 1951 is a cornerstone of India's electoral system that lays down provision for free and fair election. You can give some more details and then come straight to the main part of the question, which is, there's this need for simplification of disqualification process. First, being timely resolution of cases. Here you will be talking about that the guilty individuals contest election which undermines the electoral integrity, so there's this need. Okay, then you can give the recent data of conviction of the 2024 Lok Sabha Assembly election, the conviction rate from the ADR. Then you talk about the legal clarity and consistency. There's often not so uniform and transparent disqualification decisions. Okay, you can give other points like there is a need to enhance the deterrence about the corrupt practices. Okay, swift action can be set as a precedent. Okay, and then you talk about enhancing public trust in electoral system, like public confidence is eroded when tainted politicians, so there's this need, and this can be done by reforming the RPA. Okay, so there's this need again to ensure that there is the simplification as well as due process. While simplification is necessary, but it must not violate the principle of natural justice. Also, the accused should have a fair chance of defense, but without unnecessary delays that compromise electoral fairness. A fast track mechanism for adjudicating electoral offense could ensure swift and just decisions. Okay, then you can just conclude by saying that there's this need of simplifying the disqualification process under RPA, as it will enhance electoral integrity and transparency, and will also deter corruption and strengthen democracy. Okay, so I'll stop sharing my screen here, and I'll urge you to please keep writing and keep stretching your mains answer writing preparation for the last few days, and get your answers evaluated. And after that, please switch on to prelims mode. And if you can simultaneously write mains answer, nothing better than that. But please ensure that you do write for the last few days, at least till January end. Okay. Bye bye. Take care and have a nice day. Night.